Proceeding with my lecture on the history of Esan, the Esan people and their language. Of the fearful leaders, Chief Ohirare sent his son Odua to the summit to represent the majesty and people of Ohodua. Personally, Chief Ohirare would rather stay as far away from the Oba of Benin as possible than toy carelessly and foolishly with his life. His brother, the ruler of Emu, was no different, and thus the majesty of Emu was represented by his son at the royal summit in Benin. The prince represented the glory of the land and the people. A few other fearful rulers sent their brothers to attend the summit on their behalf. The great prince, Ede, was personally not interested in attending the summit. After all, the prince was approximately equal to the Oba, only a little less by tradition. But since he needed to know the upshot of the summit and the details of some important issues addressed that could directly affect him and his people, he sent his younger brother to Benin to attend the summit. Several rulers of Esan acted likewise, and thus the majesties of Uromi and Ugboha were not without impacts, both unique and historic, at the summit. In the meantime, the Oba of Benin, Oba Eware the Great, employing his diplomatic genius, subdued his fury at the disrespectful conduct of the rulers of Esan. He managed to overcome ill feelings and do well at the great historic Royal Summit held in Benin City in the historic year 1463. At the summit, Oba Eware of Benin conferred royal orders and titles upon the rulers of Esan, installing them for the first time. At this historic moment, as Enije over Esan land. He also established the Edo traditional court system over Esan land. Esan land was thus ruled and governed as kingdoms under these monarchs, the Enije. The Enije ruled and governed Esan land under the authority of the Oba of Benin. In other words, the Oba of Benin was the emperor of the Edo nations, or monarch of monarchs, king over kings. The royal titles Oba, Onoje or Enije, plural, are quite like the sovereign titles Pope or Pharaoh, in the sense that the rulers are infallible. The title may not be used by another or given to another while the original or current ruler is alive. There is no handover. The power or title may not be handed over to another while the original ruler is alive. The new rulers, titled by the Oba, were not very well received at home. There was a power clash and struggle between these rulers and the elders of Esan land. Iroa, Ewohimi, and Ekpoma being the only exceptions. The elders challenged the authority and rule of the Eniji, of course unsuccessfully. Thus, the Oba of Benin and Emperor of Edo nations, through his Eniji, governed Esan land as great, autonomous political kingdoms.